annual strength test number 19 or 20 or 7, some. I like to be able to walk unassisted 20 to 30 plus miles, nonstop, no breaks, with the only thing being just fatigue, tired, just general fatigue, no injuries. Sometimes feet can just be hamburger or whatever, but I even try to build up a resilience to that. And not only 20 to 30 miles, that would be one thing, that's in and of itself, but breathing only through the nose. So keeping breath only through the nose the entire trip. It is what I like to make sure that I hold myself as a standard to. And I like resetting my standards as the world resets their standards lower. You're going to see this just in society across all levels of everything. Is the human standard for everything is going to continue to decline and continue to be reset. And as it is, it's not a stress, it's not a worry, it's not a fear. When I notice that, I just reset mine to a level higher. Because I want to experience life differently than the world does. So why walking? Why breathing through the nose? Why for me? One, the ability to propel your own body weight. Walk is such a basic, fundamental, primitive. There are so many skill sets that are based on our ability to walk, jog and sprint, carry things, be able to explore, be able to adventure, be able to have autonomy, independence, carry yourself around your own living space. Minimum input ability is walking. That's why it was one of the most important ones that we taught ourselves to do in the first 12 to 18 months of our existence. No coaches, no guides, no teachers. We learned this. So the fact that it was that important, I like to keep it at the forefront, being that it is that important to me. I like to continue to revisit and challenge and try to poke holes in the consistency, in the value of the consistency of what fundamentals bring, and with walking being one of them. So that's one of it. Two, the amount of strength that is required to manage your body weight in an upright fashion, being able to just stand upright for 20 to 30 miles, that's going to be, 4 or 5 hours. So to be able to stand at attention for 4 or 5 hours, let alone propel yourself, cross crawl, push off the ground, be able to manage the impact of every step, and then the terrain depending on what you're walking on. I like to walk outside rather than a treadmill. So there's that. There's just minimum strength endurance in the most basic primitive position all humans should be able to position themselves in, which is upright. I never want to forget upright. I always want to enhance upright, and then off of upright comes locomotion, walking. Secondly, 20 to 30 miles, depending on the person and depending on me, is a threat of sorts, because this is a test, this is a challenge. And when the system gets threatened, what's a breathing pattern of threat and panic is mouth breath. So if I can keep breathing through my nose in the state of constant, stress and constant threat and constant challenge, even more so showing that I have control within me over my place in this unpredictable called the world or the environment or whatever it's going to be. So it loops in emotion, intellect, mental, spiritual through a physical act. Another thing, every step you take on average walking is double your body weight of force. So think of 21 to 2200 strides per mile at 20 miles to 30 plus miles. That's tens of thousands of steps times double my body weight. So that's like 370 pounds per step of force. You're going to have to be very, very powerful and very, very strong to be able to manage that level of force. And your body will tell you if that is not something you're able to do with tight musculature, limped, protective gaits, shuffle gait, bedridden, chair, whatever it's going to be, and then you have the choice to get yourself out of there, or change, or own that you want to stay in the chair for the rest of your existence, and that's cool too. You just got to own it. So there's those means as to why I challenge myself with walking great distances. Now, again, tests for me are not every day. That would be like looking at a plant, expecting it to grow every day. Tests are every 3, 6, 9, 12 months or so. So do I walk 20 to 30 miles every day? No. If I wanted to, I would have to change certain things. But I like to just be able to show that I can, and see how I'm measuring up, see how my mind is and my spirit is and my emotions and intellect changes and physicality, and how everything's positioned and how everything's prepared in my life for who I am at that time. And then sometimes I'll walk 20 to 30 miles more often because I just want to get to somewhere. I want to experience a hike, or I want to experience a mountaintop, or I want to experience a place that requires me to go great distance by my own 2 feet. The biggest thing of all, in my opinion, being able to propel and manage your own body weight in an upright fashion with unassisted walking is this unbridled freedom that you kind of take for granted, because when walking, you choose to let walking go and you can't no longer walk, or you experience an injury per your choices, or you experience symptoms and your body does not have the energy to get you around to walk. When you can't walk by your choices, you realize how imprisoning that very small detail is, and then the effect that has on everything, on relationships, on beliefs, on purpose, intention, your nourishment, your rest, your moods, your emotions, so that is the biggest key that I will, because I have had injuries, I have had symptoms where I wasn't able to walk for extended periods of time. And it brings you in touch with what you love, what you want, what you value. I value walking. I value walking by myself, meaning no assistance. I value exploring this earth. I value exploring my life per my own means, under my own control. And that value, there's no money on it. There's no number to it. It is hands down one of the most vitally important things in my life is being able to walk great distances, but walk great distance with keeping breath through my nose as a test. 20 to 30 plus miles. As of now, I might bump that up to 30 to 40 because the world is rapidly decreasing their standards of ability. And voluntarily and excited to do so. So I might have to change that pretty soon. Another thing with breathing through the nose the entire time with 20 to 30 plus miles nonstop walking is there can't be congestion. There can't be mechanical blockages. There's such a telltale as to the performance and level of my understanding of my body and healing responses if I can take a deep breath through my nose, out my nose, thousands of times over in a physical effort of 20 to 30 miles plus. So another test of sorts. And if I couldn't do that comfortably, leading me to go into me more, understand me more. Value of a strength test. Boom.